This video is an introduction to MRS or Microsoft Reporting Services. Microsoft Reporting Services is a separate product from ProgressBook that gives Meta ProgressBook districts access to about 1,000 reports, it feels like, to pull data out of student information. On the SI portal page, the main page when you log in, there is a link in this quick link section that says link to MRS. Please keep in mind, Meta staff cannot give you access to MRS without written permission from your district. You need to contact your district super user. That's our main point of contact to gain access to MRS and troubleshoot your access to MRS. On this link, we're giving you a hint. Your username, see it says username equal, your username to MRS is meta-districts with an S on the end of it, /, which is the key above your enter key, and your entire ProgressBook username. I'm going to go ahead and click this, and it should open a new tab, and you should get a username and password prompt. So I am typing my username as meta-districts with an S on the end of districts. I'm hitting the / key, which is above the enter key, and I'm going to type my entire username. In the password field, I'm going to type my ProgressBook password. So this is the same password you log into ProgressBook with, and click sign in. When you get into MRS, you will see every folder. You probably don't have access to every folder. If you attempt to run a report in a folder you don't have access to, this is what's going to happen. The user I'm logged in as does not have access to the EMIS folder. If I want to run this calendar exceptions, look what happens. If your drop downs are empty, that means you do not have access to run this report. You are going to need to contact your district super user to gain access to the reports in a folder. If you have the EMIS folder, you can run reports in you can run all the reports. If you have the student folder, you can run all the reports in the student folder. I'm going to click home. I'm going to go into the student folder because that is one of the folders this user has access to. Anytime you hover over a report, it's going to give you a list of all the fields that come out in the export. Let's go ahead and run this locker details. Click the link. It opens the report. If I want to go back to a prior year, I can do that. And in this district dropdown, if I see a district in buildings in my dropdown, I have access to run this report. I'm going to run the report at Mech High School. View the report. The data always comes out on the screen. You can then click this icon, the disk icon, and export it. My favorites are CSV or Excel for exporting data. If you want to view it on the screen, you can click these arrows and move through the pages. I honestly think it's better just export the data, get it out into Excel, and do what you want with it. I'm going to click home again. One more trick I want to show you. You can use this search field over here. I'm trying to find lunch, like free lunch, reduced lunch. This will tell me every report that free lunch or lunch status comes out on. If I want to try to run this number of students free reduced lunch, notice it's going to bring me to the EMIS folder. I don't have access to that, so I'm not going to get anything. So this search up here searches all the keywords that you see. If I click number of demerits with incidents, or excuse me, if I hover over action numbers, it will tell me what fields come out. Emergency removal. So if I wanted to run a report for removal, we've got one report. Again, if you have questions about your access, please contact your district's super user.